Mastering yes, no questions. The common verbs you need to know. Hello, language learners. Welcome back to our conversational English series. Today, we're delving deeper into the world of yes, no questions. Yes, no questions are simple, yet incredibly powerful tools in English. They can open up conversations, help you gather information, and even start friendships. We're specifically going to focus on the common verbs used in yes, no questions. By the end of this video, you'll be forming these questions like a native speaker. Before we dive into the common verbs, let's quickly recap what a yes, no question is. A yes, no question is a question that can be answered with a simple yes or no. For example, are you ready? Or, do you like coffee? Are yes, no questions. Now, let's look at the verbs that often appear in these questions. The verb to be is one of the most common verbs used in yes, no questions. This verb is used to talk about identity, qualities, and states. Questions with to be often look like this. Is she your sister? Are you ready? Am I late? Remember to use the correct form of to be, depending on the subject. Next up is to have. This verb is often used in yes, no questions to talk about possessions, relationships, and physical characteristics. Here are a few examples. Do you have any siblings? Does she have a car? Have we got enough time? Just like with to be, make sure to use the right form of to have. Modal verbs are another set of common verbs in yes, no questions. These verbs include can, could, would, should, etc. They're used to talk about ability, permission, requests, and advice. Let's see them in action. Can you help me? Would you like some tea? Should I call him? Remember, modal verbs don't change according to the subject. Finally, we have action verbs. These are verbs like eat, play, run, etc. When they're used in yes, no questions, they usually start with do, does, or did. For example, do you play tennis? Does she work here? Did they arrive on time? Keep in mind that the main verb should be in its base form. And that's it for today, folks. Remember, forming yes, no questions is all about practice. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become. Use the verbs to be, to have, the modal verbs, and action verbs we discussed today, and you'll be on your way to forming perfect yes, no questions in English. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in our next video. Happy learning!